Okay, calculus, today we're going to learn about the chain rule. And here's what the chain rule really says. If you have a function that you can write as a composition function, then you state that the derivative of that function is equal to f prime of u times u prime of x. Now, why is the chain rule important? Well, if we have a function, say f of x is equal to x minus 2 plus x squared to the 10th power, if you want to find the derivative, well, first you need to rewrite f of x as x minus 2 plus x squared times x minus 2 plus x squared times x minus 2 plus x squared 10 times. We would then need to multiply all those terms out. We would come up with an x to the 20th, so far and so forth. It would take a long time. And then we would finally take the derivative. So you can see how difficult that process would be. There's a better way. There's a way that we can manage this that makes it much quicker. And it's called using the chain rule. So, as you can see here, we have f prime of x is equal to f prime of u times u prime of x. I like to divide these up, just like so. First, I identify f of u. U of x, f prime of u, u prime of x. U of x is the inside piece, 2x minus 3. F of u is the outside piece. So when I say inside, I mean that part. When I say outside, I mean that part. And so we say f of u is, notice our variable is u to the 4th. Let's now take our derivatives. F prime of u would be 4u to the 3rd. U prime of x would be 2. What does the rule say? The rule says that we multiply them together. So I multiply them together, I get 8u to the 3rd when I multiply those two together. But remember, I drew this little arrow here that we need to substitute u back in. So we write it as 8 times 2x minus 3 to the 3rd power. And that is our derivative. Let's try it again, slightly different problem. Make the drawing a little bit bigger. There we go. F of u, u of x, f prime of u, u prime of x. I always like to identify u of x first. It's the inside, which is x minus x squared. The outside, 6u to the 5th. Now I take the derivatives. 30u to the 4th and 1 minus 2x. Remember the arrow. That means that we substitute x minus x squared back in for u. So if you multiply these together, 30u to the 4th times 1 minus 2x, remember to substitute that part back in. You would have 30 times u, which is x minus x squared to the 4th, times 1 minus 2x. And you could rewrite that. You could distribute the 30 to the other side and have 30 minus 60x times x minus x squared to the 4th power. That's another way to write it. But that is the derivative. It's also very useful in trigonometry, which we just covered. Make my box, make my arrow. So, we say f of u, we say u of x, we say f prime of u, we say u prime of x. F of u in this situation. I'm sorry, u of x. U of x is 5x squared. F of u, negative 4 secant of u. Take the derivative. What's the derivative of 5x squared? 10x. What is the derivative of negative 4 secant of u? Negative 4 secant of u tangent of u. Remember to plug the 5x squared back in. Negative 4 secant of 5x squared tangent of 5x squared times 10x. You multiply that 10x by the negative 4, negative 40 secant of 5x squared tangent 5x squared. That's all there is to it. Sometimes we need to rewrite our polynomials, or our functions. They look a little bit different. In this case, negative 5 times x plus 5 to the negative 7th power. We'll get rid of that at the top there, so it doesn't hopefully bother you guys. So since 7 was in the denominator, we can bring it to the numerator. So instead of having to use a quotient rule for a problem like this, I'm going to be able to use the chain rule. And so my box, f of u, u of x, f prime of u, u prime of x. So we look at the inside. Inside is x plus 5. Outside, negative 5, u to the negative 7th. So we do f prime of u. Negative 5 u to the negative 7th, the derivative. 35u to the negative 8th. U prime of x, 1. Multiply them together. Obviously, you'd have 35u to the negative 8th. Remember the arrow. Plug it back in. So we have 35 times x plus 5 to the negative 8th, which is 35 over x plus 5 to the 8th. There you have it. That's my derivative. Okay. Sometimes you're in a situation where you have a product function. So as you see here, I have 2x, which is one function. I have another function, which is 4 minus x to the 4th power. So as you go ahead and work through this, again, you need to use the product rule. What the product rule says is I take the derivative of the first part. The derivative of 2x is 2, and I leave the second part alone, 4 minus x to the 4th power, plus the first part left alone, which is 2x, times the derivative of the second. Well, as you can see, in order to take the derivative of the second, I need to use the chain rule. F of u, u of x, f prime of u, u prime of x, and I go to work. F of u in this situation, or I'm sorry, u of x is 4 minus x. F of u, u to the 4th. F prime of u, 4u to the 3rd, u prime of x, negative 1. Arrow says we put it back in. Multiply those together, we have negative 4u to the 3rd, but obviously the arrow tells us to plug everything back in. We have 4 times 4 minus x to the 3rd power, and remember it's negative. So that's my derivative for that part. So negative 4 times 4 minus x to the third power. So my result, 2 times 4 minus x to the fourth power minus 8x times 4 minus x to the third power. There we go. Okay, one more. Need a little room here. Erase this. We have a sine squared of 3x. I'm going to rewrite this, f of x. So, f prime, we're not there yet. F of x is equal to sine of 3x squared. That's what it means to be squared. As you can see here, I really have two inside functions. One inside one is the 3x. The other inside one is sine of 3x. So I really have to use the chain rule twice. So we'll set it up. F of u of x. Prime of u prime of x. F of u and u of x. In this case, u of x will say is sine of 3x. And f of u is going to be u squared. Take the derivative. Derivative of u squared is 2u. Derivative of sine of 3x, we don't know. It requires a chain rule. So, sine of 3x. Chain rule. F of u of x. F prime of u prime of x. U of x in this situation is 3x. F of u is sine of u. Derivative of sine of u, cosine of u. Derivative of 3x, 3. Remember to plug it back in. Multiply these together. I get 3 cosine of 3x. So that's my derivative for sine of 3x. 3 cosine of 3x. Multiply those together. 2u times 3 cosine of 3x. And what you can see is you have to plug your u back in. So you get 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Sine of 3x times cosine of 3x. And that is my derivative that I end with. So anyway, that's the chain rule. We'll have some good practice with this. Hopefully this was helpful.